Hi everybody, Paul Cameron here from speedupmyjobsearch.com, and if you have been struggling with the question of what you want to do next in your career and how do I get a job doing that thing when I don't have any experience doing that thing, and how do I get experience doing that if I don't have a job to, if you've been struggling with those types of questions, this is the video for you. You're going to like this. I had a chance very recently to sit down with Madeline Mann from the Los Angeles area. Her and I sat down and did a video interview together. And she runs a YouTube channel called the Self Made Millennial. And she's got some really great ideas on how to answer these types of questions. So I'm hoping that you will click like on this video and share it with your network and tell as many people as you can about her channel because she's got some really great information out there. I think you're really going to like it. I'm going to have all of her links below this video so you can connect with her on LinkedIn and go to our website. And she even put together a free gift for anyone who watches this video, so I'll have that link down there as well. So I'm going to read through her bio for you here, and then we're going to cut straight over to that video. So Madeline Mann is a human resources leader in the technology industry with expertise in building purpose-driven, dynamic company cultures and bringing the people element into every business decision. Madeline created the Self Made Millennial, which is a YouTube channel that reveals the inner workings of HR and recruiting with rapid-fire, battle-tested career and job search advice. Her work is featured regularly on the Business Insider, Newsweek, The Ladders, Career Contessa, Breaking into Startups, and a bunch of other places as well. Her website is madelinemann.com. The spelling of that is on the screen here right now, and it'll be in the notes below. And at this point, let's jump over to that interview. Okay, so today I have got Madeline Mann here with me from Self Made Millennial, and I guess what can you tell me as far as what would be the most important thing that you would tell somebody just trying to come into the market and doesn't have any experience to get a job?
Absolutely. So I always say that you need to do some soul searching before you do job searching. And what I mean by that is really recognizing not only, what you love, what you're good at, what you're passionate about, but also, where the job market is and how all those things can fit together. And, really at the core of it is the sooner in your career that you can figure out what you're truly passionate about, what that underlying motivator is, and then finding roles that fit that, you will be much more likely to set up for success. So for example, a lot of times when maybe parents say this to their kids, do what you love, they go for their hobby, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe they, for me, I loved playing guitar. So maybe I'll just become a musician. And it's actually going after your hobby is not necessarily what I mean. What I mean is finding a role that fits with your values. So when you examine, I personally, some of my values are, I really like to work on a team. I really want, I value teamwork. I value upward mobility. I value, having, autonomy. And some of those things maybe are not as transferable into playing guitar as I would hope. So what I then recommend people to do is once they really uncover what they're good at, what they love, and some of their values, to kind of even just write them down and then use some of those words and find people in their networks who they can talk to and learn about their careers, which I often call like an informational interview. So for me, I got a psychology degree. I was like, I don't know what a human is supposed to do with this. So I just searched my network, who has a psychology degree, and I started talking to them and learning about all these jobs that, especially to a college grad, maybe they'd never heard of these kind of jobs. What is a UX designer? What is a speech language pathologist? And so those are both incredible jobs, both creative and working a lot with people. But a lot of people don't know about that. So that's where the informational interviews come in, learning about that. And then once they have really honed in on, wow, I really want to be a speech language pathologist, then it's time to start building those skills. So classes are a great place to start. but you should really go beyond that. Start getting experience, be that, go finding professionals who you can help out and intern for, or build your own projects, or make your own friends and family your clients.
I went through a lot of your videos, and you have got a great video out there, and I'll put a link to it in my notes down below on how to figure out what it is that you want to do. And you've got the circles, and that's fantastic, in helping people to figure out what they want to be, when they grow up. And they're still, you've got people mid-career, late career trying to figure out what they want to be. And I always tell them,
it's totally normal.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. But they come to me and they're like, hey, can you help me figure this out? Like, once you know what you want, I can help you get there. But until then, you need to go look at this channel, watch this video. So I'm going to point them all to yours. I hope that's okay, because it's really, really helpful. But you mentioned you just got to go out and get experience. Okay. That's a great concept. How do you do that? How do you go, like, if you meet somebody who's got these skills, how do you get experience from them?
Right. So one thing that I think a lot of people have to unlearn is the idea that, reading and taking classes and getting a certain degree is like the secret to success. If I was to break it down, I would say about 10% of your time should definitely be reading and taking classes. That is valuable. You should be, listening to those podcasts that are relevant, all that stuff. 30% of your time should be reaching out to professionals in like the area of expertise that you're looking for, grabbing coffee with them, talking with them, and using that time to pick their brain, not only about what they do, but how you can add value to their lives, right? So when you're talking with these professionals, they might say, oh my gosh, I have this big deck that I have to put together for this major presentation. And you might say, I'm pretty savvy with putting decks together. Like, do you want me to take a first pass at it and just see what I can do, and I can send it back to you, and it'll be a great experience for me. Like, I want to touch this kind of work you're doing. But I also think like you probably use a lot of help. So like, they'll be like, holy moly, like this coffee meeting just turned into someone who is adding value to my life. So never underestimate how busy people are, and how even just you taking things off their plate can be a massive influence. And that is like, who wouldn't want to hire someone like that? And then, so we're at 40% now. So 60% of your time should then be building experience, right? So that's where you're working with people. You're kind of just, I think that we feel that we need someone to, have a role out there that we apply to, or that it already exists. But you can create your own projects. You can, notice people in your network, notice the restaurant down the street who has no social media presence and offer to do it for them. Create your own opportunities and be a resource instead of a sales pitch.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yep. All I've heard to this point is to reach out and see if you can find somebody to mentor you. And it's like, I'd love to mentor you, but I got like 800 other things to do. When you phrase it like that, going to them and offering value, that's outstanding. Hope you don't mind me taking notes as we're going on. That's outstanding. So now I know there are some areas that there's just not, in the Chicago area, we got a lot of people around here, but not everybody watching YouTube has people all around them. Maybe they've got to go to a conference to meet people, or they've got to travel someplace for that. How would you go about meeting somebody at that conference? Like, say I wanted to go and meet you as a speaker, if you were speaking somewhere out here, how would I do that?
Yeah. So I relate to this a lot, because for a longest time, I was a huge chicken when it came to events, especially if it was a speaker. I'm like, they don't want to talk to me. I'm these small potatoes. Like I don't know what to do. And so I've actually developed several approaches. So one of them is, I first noticed this when I was doing a speaking engagement, and I was talking to hundreds of people, and to be honest, I was pretty nervous. And I looked out into the audience, and this one woman, she was looking at me, and the entire presentation, she was eye contact, she was smiling, she was nodding. I was like, this woman gets it. And I went up to her afterwards, and I was like, thank you. like I saw how engaged you were. I made contact with you, and honestly, it gave me this boost of confidence. And she said, yes, I was right there with you. I saw that you could use like an ally in the audience, and I was so excited, and you were doing a great job. And it made me realize that speakers are humans, you know, they want to see people out there. And I also, as I mentioned earlier, I was a musician, and, you know, people listen to music like this with their face playing.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can ever be that person in the audience who's rocking out, who is, you know, nodding, they will very likely notice. The second thing is, and so then that will make the intro so much more like smooth. And the second thing is I have this like little business card thing I do where if the person is super crowded with a whole crowd around them, I'll just kind of butt in really quick and say, hey, so sorry to interrupt. My name is Madeline Mann. It was such a fantastic presentation. Here's my card. I'll follow up. Thank you so much. And I just dip. And then I can follow up later and say, hey, this is Madeline. We met at the event. So that's kind of like a way to make it not so much of a cold intro. And then finally, and now this is the tip that so many speakers have written to me and gone, thank you for giving this tip. This is exactly what I want people in the audience to do, is to take photos and videos and then walk up to the speaker and say, I loved your presentation. Thank you so much for being here. I you know, took a few photos and videos, and I was wondering if you'd like me to email them to you. Oh my God, they're going to say absolutely, because there's like generally like no photo proof of that these things happen. Right. And now you have their email and you're adding value into their life. It's like, okay, you know, they're going to love you.
Right. You've got a nice warm way to get back in touch. Hey, we met at that thing. I sent you the yeah, that's outstanding. That was kind of a softball pitch. I was hoping you would go there. That was my favorite tip. Thank you very much for saying that. Now you're in an HR department, to my understanding. You're working in HR.
Yes.
I hear a lot that what if somebody just said to you, well, what if you just hired me for free? You don't even have to pay me. What if you just take me on for free? Is that a good way for people to get that experience when they don't have it going in?
Yeah, so I think that shows a lot of that you're very committed to learning, right? It's like, hey, I know that the best education I can get is working alongside you fine people, and I'm willing to work for free. The thing also that these people have to realize is that when someone works for free or is an intern or is someone who is inexperienced in whatever role that they're going into, the on-the-job training that is happening where you take your top people and have them focus on this new person and train them, that costs the company a lot of money. That person could be, you know, working really quickly, getting things done, but instead they're slowing down and helping you get sped up. So you're really getting an education for free. And I'm not trying to, convey that people need to work for free all the time. And I do want people to be compensated. But just know that, like, when you're like weighing, especially opportunities earlier on, be humble, right? Even if a job doesn't pay as much, the growth opportunities are what you should be aiming at, because the amount of time they're going to spend mentoring you, that is priceless. Like, if you think about how much a college education costs and somehow you are either getting it for free or someone's paying you to get the education, that's amazing.
Absolutely. Yep. I was wondering where you would go with that, because it's very, very costly to even take on a non-paid internship. They got to dedicate resources over there. So, well, listen, I want to say thank you so much for doing this here for us. I'm really an enormous fan, and what I appreciate the most is the fact that you're in a full-time position and you're just doing this sincerely to help people. I mean, as far as I can see, and we had a conversation earlier about this prior to starting the recording. There's no like hidden agenda here. You genuinely want people to know what we see from the inside, and that's such an enormous help to people. I have the highest respect for that. So really appreciate what you do, Madeline. So
I appreciate what you do too. I feel like we're totally aligned, and yeah, it's like, if we can just, we see a lot of behind the scenes, and if we can just bring that to the forefront, everyone will have such better communication. People can have thriving careers and really, find their true path that they're meant to be on.
100%, 100%. So how can people contact you? Do you want them going to your YouTube channel, your website? I'll throw that over to you.
Absolutely. So I do have the YouTube channel, Self Made Millennial. It is battle tested, rapid fire advice on career and job search. So we can link that. I also have a freebie for you all. So I talked a lot about contacting professionals and having these informational interviews, getting that information so also how to help them, as well as what steps you need to take in your own career. So I will link the script of lots of questions you can ask. It's a free PDF of how to do an informational interview for all of your viewers. And finally, connect with me on LinkedIn. Let me know that you found me through Paul, and I'm at linkedin.com/in/Madeline Mann.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And I do want to just add in there that channel is not just for millennials. I am definitely not a millennial, and I'm learning a ton from that channel. So I do appreciate that, and people of every age should go check that out.
Oh, yeah. We got viewers from 16 to 80.
Nice. I am somewhere in that range. We'll just right. Well, listen, thank you so much for doing this, Madeline, and hopefully we can do a few more of these in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you, Paul. Have a good one.
Okay, you too.